All right, are we going live? Let me see. Check it out, everybody. I'm using a new software right now for the live stream, so I'm going to be testing some things out or just seeing how it goes. I'm going to wait for my delay to pop up, make sure that everybody could hear. Can you guys hear me? All right, let me know. Give me a sign if you could hear. Ben says yes. Let me see. I got my iPad right here to test it out. Dope. It looks like this is working. Man, do you know what? I'm really digging this right here, this new software. Got it off of AppSumo, and I am right now kicking myself for not stacking up those codes because this thing is bomb. I can't believe it. It's called Wave. Incredible. All right, what's going on, everybody? How's everybody doing? So I got my tea this time. I know last week we had some technical challenges. And I didn't even get a chance to get my tea going right here. It's a late night session. All right. What's up, everyone? What's up, Ben? What's up? Wow. Awesome, everyone. Awesome. Good to see you all here. All right. Let's see. All right. So check this out. We're going to have Q&A and all that. And I don't know if you could see this right here, but I could go ahead and put up the questions. This is super dope. I am so digging this. So this software is wave.video. I got it off AppSumo, but it was right as it was leaving. So hopefully it comes back. But I'm really digging this right here. Vivian, hey, so good to see you. All right. Hey, Farhan. Tony, what's up, man? I wish we had this last week, mate. Oh my God, dude. This is dope. It's actually working. So what's up? All right. Well, thank you all for joining. Check this out. All right, we're going to keep doing this. All right, we're doing this. My mission is that no web creator needs to be doing this alone. We don't need to be doing this alone. My first few years doing this, I was alone. I mean, I was obsessed. I was in my room all night long, working hard and just loving doing what I'm doing. But also, I was doing this thing alone. I don't want anybody else having to do that. Yo, Jeff from Michigan, what's up, man? I'm a long-term Detroit Lions fan, by the way. So what's up, man? Awesome. All right. Oh, man, that's so good to hear. I can't in Zoom. All right. Man, thank you. I'm so happy to hear that, man. So happy to hear that. I hope tonight, too, I do believe tonight what we look at, it could definitely help our websites, especially the design part. Now, if you are building Elementor websites, and especially if you're using containers, this is really going to help out because I'm going to put my own website on blast tonight. All right, I'm going to put my own website on blast. I was going through it this week. You know, we have a little promotion going on, doing some things for the new design course. But I was going through it and I saw a lot of things that were off. I saw a broken system on it. And I took a closer look and I figured out what happened. What happened was I built the website and I built it off of sections. Then I converted the sections into containers. And the system that I was using with my sections, well, they broke with the containers. I'm going to show you why and how to avoid that. But also, I'm going to be creating a new system. I thought I was going to do it today on my own. Plus, I need to update SOPs and things like that. So I thought, like, I was getting ready to do it. It just came to me like, dude, this would really be cool to just do this on a live, show you guys what I'm looking at, help to see. This way, too, we got open Q&A. This is a time where you can fully engage. And check it out. I got this thing to click on right here, and we could do a whole lot now with this new software I'm using. All right, man. All right. Farhan, the SEO lessons are coming up. The SEO tuts are coming up. Man, do you know what? To be honest, man, I got a long list of tutorials and videos to create. I've been traveling, probably see different backgrounds and stuff, but I'm recording right now daily, so things are about to drop. There's a lot of things happening in Elementor. Like, there's some times where you like wonder, like, you know, what should we create content on? Then sometimes all of a sudden it's like, whoa, there are a lot of things to create content on. You know, All right. So I'm just looking back. I want to keep looking at the chats. All right. Okay, Aiden, good question. All right. Aiden says, are the containers released and are they even stable? So I am going to confidently say 100% I am all in on containers. I would not use sections anymore going forward. I mean, right now I feel they are stable enough. I am not experiencing any bugs except for that new mega menu builder. Now I've been working on that video all day long. I was working on it. I have to work on it again tomorrow. Containers are, or Flex, really, it's just not working with it. But that's an experiment, that's an alpha. Other than that, I do believe containers is ready to go. I'm not going to use sections anymore. And the reason why I'm all in on containers right now, I feel that is stable enough, and it's going to make everything a lot more painless when it comes forward to building new pages. Because what you're going to see in a moment when I show you my own personal site that I did build with sections, switching it to containers did cause some pain points. Now, if I want to clean up my design on it, it's going to take me several days. Like, I'm going to have to spend a lot of time and go through a lot of the details. And right now, I'm going to just rebuild the website. And I felt like instead of spending days, getting all those little tiny things, it's just going to be better for me to focus on a design system for containers, something that could be applied not just to my site, but for all of our sites going forward. And then something as well that I could add to an SOP. Because look, here is the thing about design systems and why they are so important. Whenever we design randomly, we get random results. A design system is going to keep everything consistent. It's going to keep it in line. It's going to add rules to everything. A design system keeps your website mathematical. Now, let me explain. All right. Whenever I see 7 pixels, I flip my lid. All right. Please, no 7 pixels. No 51 pixels. No 37 pixels. None of these weird numbers. None of these prime numbers that can't fit into a system, because those numbers, they just don't fit. Whenever I see 7 pixels, and the reason why I'm always talking about 7 pixels, I'm seeing something that was done randomly. That's why it could be dangerous using the slider, to set the widths or the spacings on anything. And you have to have a system. Now, that system could be 10 pixels, it could be 20 pixels, it could be 12. And I'm going to show you all that as I put something together right now. But that's something that you define and is consistent. And not only is that consistent for us, when we do define a system, if you are working with other web developers, other designers, web creators, somebody else that needs to come into the website, you have a system to give them that needs to be followed for that website. Because, all right, drop it in the comments. Drop in the comments if any of you have ever worked on an Elementor site where at least 2 other people have worked on it. All right, if you have done that, 3 people, you 2 others, have worked on an Elementor site, how messy did it start to get? Some people do padding down, some do margins up, some do percentages, some do side pixels. It gets super, super messy because, there's so many different ways we could build an Elementor website. So we're going to look at a system. Let's see. I just want to catch up on the comments. All right, no questions yet. Drop questions. This is why we're doing this. I'm going to have a sip of tea right here. Sorry, it happens when you talk to yourself behind the camera for a long time. Okay, check it out. So I'm going to do a screen share, and I'm going to show you, what I mean about how the system broke on my own website. How my website, I'm going to be honest too, it was a bit random. It was something that quickly needed to be done. So look, let me just go ahead and share the screen. Now, this is the first time for me using this software right here. And so far, it seems to be going kind of good. All right, I'm going to wait for the catch-up lag on my other monitor right here, my iPad, just to make sure the screen share is going. All right. Dope. Okay, we got screen share. All right. Now, this page right here, this was done with sections. All right. In fact, this whole site was done with sections, and the site was done rather quickly. Like, I didn't really go through a whole design process. Look at the thing is, things evolved really quickly with the Lytbox Academy. At first, the Lytbox Academy, what it was meant to do is just to support students who were taking my very first course, which is the building and selling WordPress maintenance plans. So I did that course as my first one. I wanted to show some support, so that's where it started. Then I wanted to split apart the blogs from our Lytbox Studio website, because our studio website was for clients and attracting clients. But I had blogs on there that were ranking in the top Google. Like, I was getting tons of traffic, a lot of subscribers from the blogs. And I had a lot of them ranked number 1, 2, and 3, a lot of my Elementor tutorials. So I wanted to take those and put them in a dedicated learning website, which is the Lytbox Academy. I did it. It all happened really quickly. So it just evolved and was a bit randomly. So I got random results. I still, though, have a design system. And the thing is with design systems, when you use one over and over and over, it becomes very repetitive, and it gets easier for the person doing it, like myself doing it, or maybe somebody on my team doing it. When we're doing it over and over, it just becomes repetitive, and it becomes like second nature. And so you could go quickly. I designed this all inside Elementor right here. I didn't go through my process of mockups and Figma like I would do with a client project. But check this out. Let me use this inspect element right here. I'm going to use this as a guide, because look how right here it's aligned to these boxes here. If we go up, we can see, okay, it's aligned. I'm going to move it just over a little bit. Now, bring that back up. Right here, there should be a straight line going through. But right here, we could already see it's breaking. Now, it might only be 20 pixels. It might be, 10, 20 pixels, but it's a break in the design. And if I go down more, I'll see it happen again. I'll see it happen by about, well, no, right there's okay. Right here is okay. Right here, though, let me pull this up. Now it is under right here. So I'm not flushing it out. And then if I go down, I can see it's now completely broken over here. So the design system started to break. And the reason why it broke was in the containers. Now I'm going to go here to edit with Elementor. And when I built my sites with sections, I did not use intersections. I tried to use intersections as a very last resort, trying to keep, the code clean, the HTML markup clean. With containers, though, sometimes you got to use inner containers. Now, by default, the containers, let me see, I'm going to go here. By default, there is 10 pixel padding around the containers. So when I drop in an inner container, now I got 20 pixels padding around this content. And if there was any other inner container, then we're going to have 30 pixels inside there. But see, this is where things start to break. Like if I were to go here and, well, okay, there's already padding in there. Well, let me just go back over here to my site settings. All right, this is the page settings. I need to go to my site settings. Now, going forward, in order to remove this, problem from happening, I got to go over here to my layout and got to put the container paddings at 0. Now, the problem is when I put it at 0 and I built the page with sections and some of those sections converted into intersections, we're going to have some problems, some little tiny things we need to tweak around. So that is one. Another one is going to be this gap in between elements. So that's going to put 20 pixels here, 20 pixels here, and so on. It's going to put that default. It could help in some ways to speed things up, and that's great if it's part of the system. But if it wasn't, then it's going to create difficulties. All right, let me know if you have any questions. I'm following along. I'm going to stop the screen share, and then we're going to come right back, and I'm going to dive into Figma and start to show you the process of starting a design system. All right, let me go back here. All right, let's see. All right, Joe. I hope I'm saying that right. And if your name is Joe, that's a dope way of spelling it for sure. All right, what units do I like to use with my container gap? All right, first started using percentages, but it could be buggy. I use 20 or 24 pixels. I use the pixel unit mostly. Now I know that some prefer percentages when it comes to containers, especially the side or the top and bottom spacing. I personally like pixel. I feel like I got a lot more control over it. It works with my system. I'm not going to say one is wrong or one is right because percentages could work as well. If you find a percentage that works with your type of designs, as long as that percentage is consistent and part of a system, then it is going to work. What do you guys think? You know, who uses percentages? Who uses pixels? Does somebody use something else like calc? All right. Are you getting some scratch? Oh, I'm getting some scratching on my sound. Uh-oh. Is this still happening? I can't hear. I'm going to have to hear on the replay. Let me turn this up real quick. With your type of designs, as long as that percentage is consistent and part of a system. Okay, I think I hear. Oh, okay. It's someone doing the screen share. Okay. All right. And then Jeff says he uses Rem for fonts. Same thing for me. I only use Rem on fonts. I don't use M or I don't use Pixel. I feel Rem is the best solution for accessibility. When it comes to paddings, though, so all right, let me go ahead and do another share right here. All right, let me show this on the stream. Okay, cool. And then it is going to work. I gotta set up make sure I got that right here. Hopefully it's working. All right, cool. I got a blank space right here where I'm going to start my design system. Now, we got the brand styles right here, and these always should be the first part of the setup when it comes to the design. These, you know, you always want to put in your colors and your font styles right here. Now, I'm going to do a mock-up for mine, so I'm going to adjust these a bit inside the mock-up, but this is usually how it starts. I like to keep things minimal, by the way. I like to simplify things. I don't need some crazy brand guide. I mean, if it's for a client and it's a big project that has a lot of money involved, I would do some really fancy brand guide, you know, because it's going to be something that is part of the experience, part of the deliverables. But for myself, for a project or for a smaller project, I like to keep it simple. All right, so I got my main primary global colors, and then these are my secondary. Now, first, I do got to say this. If you are newer to design, I would stick with just the primary palette, just one palette right here, 4 to 5 colors, no more than that. I would not try to explore with too many. It takes time to be able to do more colors. So I like to keep those minimal. Same thing with fonts. Now, my first few years, I would use just, in fact, still to this day, almost on all projects, I'll use only one font per website. All right, but this is the globals right here. For our design system, it's going to be something different. All right, the design system is defining a lot of things like your spacing, your border radiuses, the box shadows. You know, all these elements, all these parts of the design that we need to keep consistent. Think about if you were to have another designer or web developer help you on a project, how would you like them to build the site along with you so your guys' build is the same? First one would be the containers. So let me go ahead and add in a container. I'm going to make mine 1280. I find this is my sweet spot right here. And let me know what your sweet spot is. What do you like your container width to be? All right. So I'm going to use 1280 right here. Now, I need to define the spacing. So here is the element. All right, it could be, you know, a block of text, it could be an image. It's just a it's just a section. It's the base content right here. Let me make this a little bit bigger. All right, let me center it up. You guys are going to see I got OCD. All right, everything's got to be perfectly aligned. It's just OCD is kind of good to have inside design, but perfectionism isn't. It's a conundrum. All right. So from here, now I'm going to define my first spacing in my container, and I'm going to keep it narrowed down to 3. I like to follow the rules of 3. 3 I find work well in nature. It's basically like a universal number, but also it's not too much. If you do have too many rules for a container, then it's going to get messy. It's going to be all over the place. The less, the better. So I'm going to say the first one right here, I'm going to give a lot of, I'm going to make this one have a lot of spacing. So I'm going to put 100 pixels on top. All right. And I'm just doing this quick. I would, do it a lot. First though, every time I do this, I do chicken scratch. A lot of times I'm doing this in my notebook, really. All right. So I got 100 pixels on top and bottom. All right. Let me go ahead and group this right here. Let me make this go smaller. All right, I'm going to create my second container. And this one I'm going to make 80. All right. 80 pixels on top and 80 on the bottom. And I'm going to have one more. Let me make this even bigger right here. Duplicate that, and then my final container rule, my final one for my system would be 60 on the top and 60 on the bottom. Now you could also do something like, make it thinner. I could take time to like actually make it 60 pixels. I usually do that when I am, doing my final touches. Let me move this here. But this is to help get you started, showing the process of building that design system. All right, so this right here defines my containers. All right. And if you have somebody else building this, or if you build it yourself for your own website, your client's website, you follow this rule all throughout the website, no matter what. You don't do another 50 pixel one. You don't do another 30. Keep it that way all the way through the website. It makes it a whole lot cleaner and consistent. And this is just one element right here. All right, with that, let me go ahead and I'm going to stop the screen share again. That way I can take a look at the comments and questions that come up. All right, Santiago says always use pixels and fonts and then you change the rem. Rem is good. All right, so check this out. Here is a tool that I use. I'm going to do a screen share right here. All right. This is one of my go-to tools. So if you are switching from pixel to rem, and I'll drop this in the comments right here. Let me go over to my design tools. See, I use this right here, this raindrop. It helps me out so much when it comes to organizing all of my bookmarks right here. All right. And okay, that doesn't look good. All right, it helps me out organizing it, but I lost it. Oh, geez. Here we go. This site right over here, I really like this one. So I go to Pix to Rem. And, if I got one, it's like 24 pixels. Bam. Just makes it a whole lot easier to convert it. I'm going to copy this, and I am going to stop sharing. And here is the tool I use. All right. So you guys could check that out right there. All right. Mohammed asked if I could share the Figma file link. I will, but after I finish with this. So this is going to take me some time. All right. This is going to take me quite a bit of time. First, I'm going to go through all the different rules. I'm going to look at, okay, let me do another screen share on this one. I'm going to flip back. All right. Let's go ahead and do this right here. All right, I'm going to flip back over here. Now, I'm going to tighten all this up, and I'm going to make it look all pretty and stuff like that when I finish. I want to label it, my containers system, you know, something like that, so it could be defined. Let me start a new artboard right over here. Inside this one, I'm going to define, let me define my border radiuses. All right. Oops, not that. Let me write border radius. All right, so by defining my border radius, I'm going to keep it consistent all the way throughout the website. This is going to be for all of my cards. Now, you don't want a card, like one card, to have, you know, 2 pixels, or even to be just straight, you know, like a straight square. And then to have another section where you have your cards, your post grids, images or something, and then for that one to have a big border radius on it. This is where the consistency happens. You want to make sure your cards and your card elements, anything that you have in blocks, are consistent. It's going to make your design a whole lot cleaner. So from here, I'm first going to start off with, you know what, I'm going to start off with 2. I'm going to see, I want a little bit of a soft edge, but more of a box. I am going for a more box feel on this next site, but I'm going to play around with it. And when I am in the design process, all right, when I'm in the design process, I will add it and I'll start building. And if I feel like, you know what, this isn't working for my design, I'm going to go to my system and I'm going to update the system. So when I am working on the Elementor site, we have one spot for our globals and our systems. That way, everything stays consistent. If I need to change something in the system, I change it here. And usually, by the time you finish the home page, just that one page, the system should be defined. That way, going forward, building any other page will be a whole lot easier. It'll be very smooth. You know, the time should really go inside the home page. Now I'm going to do another one right here. In fact, you know what? Let me make a box over here. I'm going to do a box shadow. All right, this way I could define my box shadows. And let me do a button over here. All right. Just going to do some generic text on it. Let me center this up. All right, let me group that right there. Now, border, I'm going to give my rules right here. I'm just going to give it 2 pixels. Well, let me put that up over here. Or I could put it down here. All right, now for my box shadow. First off, let me make this consistent with my other ones. And let me add my box shadow here. So I'm going to put in my effects. And I am going to leave this at 0. I'm going to put this at 10. I usually use the same box shadow for most of my websites. I like to have a lot of space on my box shadow. I feel like having a lot of depth, it gives it more of a natural look. All right, and well, let me make this darker right here. And for the shadow, I am going to take this down to 15%. All right, so let's say I'm going to make this my box shadow right here. Then I would just take these right here, which is going to be, let me see, 0 pixel. What was it? 10 pixel, 40 pixel, minus, wait, yeah, minus 5 or 4 pixels. Let me go back and check that. And then I am going to do, let me see, 15%, or it would be a 0.15 opacity of 0, 0, 0, 0, 0. And I could always get the RGB for that one right there. But the thing is, I define it. So now going forward, my box shadow would be this way. And if I want to make a hover, just go ahead and group this. Let me expand this over. Let me duplicate that. Now I could put this as a box shadow hover. And I could move that over. And then I could define, what do I want this to be a box shadow hover? Do I want it to press down? Do I want it to press up? What kind of effect do I want to give? For this one, I want it to press down. So let me go back over here. And I am going to put this at, let me see, 6. I'll put this at 20. Oops. And, let me see, maybe I could make this a bit darker. Okay. don't want to go too dark on it. It's kind of hard to see with this white. I'll test it out on the site. I'm going to put this at 25% right now. So let me go back here. And, you know, I just start off here, but when I go onto the website, I go ahead and I test it out. Let me do this at 20. This one at 6. I think also it's going to help out if I do less of that under spread. I'm going to take out the spread. I'll put -2. And then this becomes part of the system. Another important one, buttons. Have you seen a website that has tons of different buttons? All right. Define the button. Make the buttons consistent. Not only is it going to make your design look better, but it's going to make it easier for the users to understand and identify where the call to action is at. Because if you have some buttons that are, you know, they're pill shaped, you have some that are square, some that are using different icons all over the place, it makes it hard for the user to understand where is the action at. So I would do the same here, just like what I did for these. I would define the button. Maybe I'll make it a pill shape. You know, maybe I'll make it a box. Whatever I do with it, though, I'm going to keep it consistent. All right, I'm going to stop the screen share, open up some Q&A. How has this been going, guys? All right, this is new for me. Let me see. Okay, that's a good one. All right, Joe says to set the base font to 10 pixels instead of 16. Then all rem, they're simple. And yes, they are. They are. All right. I have seen that before. I still keep mine at 16, but I might change that. It is, you know, it does work at 10. I've seen how that is. No need for a calculator. You're absolutely right. That's a great tip for everyone. I use mine at 16 still just because I've been doing it for a long time. And, you know, here's the thing. When you keep doing things for over and over and over, the repetition, it gets a lot faster. Now, for example, my global fonts that I make, they're just about the same. Like, they're just about the same for all projects. I got into the point where I have a set of fonts that I use. I don't always experiment or try different fonts for websites because typography is super challenging. It's one of the most challenging parts of design. In fact, if you go to design school, it's an advanced lesson. Typography, it takes time to learn. So I was taught to master one thing at a time, and that's what I teach. I fully believe mastering one thing at a time, and I apply that to my typography by mastering one font at a time, then mastering one design system or, you know, your global styles for your fonts. All right. Okay, that's a good question. So Ben asked when you should use percentages or pixels in margin and padding of the website, or should we stick to container width? That's a really good question. All right. So I know that using percentages or pixels got. Okay, I'm just making sure. This is dope, by the way. I got to say, I'm really digging this software right now. I'm really digging it. All right. First, I got to say that when it comes to using percentages or pixels, I can't say one is right and one is wrong indefinitely. I think either could work as long as there is a system applied to them. Now, though, if you are using a container, let me do a screen share. All right. Let me go back over here. In fact, I got a brand new site set up over here. So let me go to a new page. I think this may help out. Hopefully it goes where I'm hoping it goes. All right. Ooh-wee. There's that thing again. Okay. Now, if we're going to go, first thing I always do, by the way, before even starting to build the site, is always going to be going to the site settings and always setting up the layout. I'm going to set mine up at 1280. Oops, not 1281, 1280. I'm going to put this all the way down to 0. Oh, snap. Let me discard that. My containers aren't there. Okay, let me go to dashboard and apply. Yeah, leave. I got to turn the containers on. All right. By the way, I've been using containers just religiously for like a while now. And, you know, it was a transition. By the way, too, I got another video coming up, hopefully tomorrow, about all this right here, about how to set all this up. I won't go into that right now, though. But I got something cool coming up. All right, so check this out right here. Let me go back. Let me edit this. Yeah, I've been using containers like just every day, based on a daily basis. And at first, it was a little bit of a pain moving from sections. There was some bugs or some things I thought were bugs. They weren't even bugs. I just had to figure a few things out. Once you figure those things out, it becomes something like I can't go back to sections. Like I would not even want to go back to sections now. All right, cool. Let me go ahead and take this here. I'm going to put the gap at 0 and I'm going to put my padding at 0. If I don't do that, it's going to make it hard for me to really keep a system. Yeah, it's going to make it hard. It'll make more sense right now. All right, I'm going to go ahead and build something real quick. We're not going to do anything. Let me go to my page settings, take that title away, hide that title. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and just build this section right here. Now, I'm going to stick to my design system right here. This isn't going to be a banner. Let's just say this is a middle section in the middle of the page. All right, so I did not give side rules to this. All right. And I need to, now I gave rules for the top and bottom, but now I need to give rules to the side. I found a sweet spot at either 12 or 20 pixels. And let me show you what I mean real quick. All right, I'm going to put 12 pixels right now for mine. That's going to be my sweet spot. No, wait, hold up. My bad. Take that back right there. It's 20 pixels right here on the side. All right. And let me duplicate that. I'm going to put 20 pixels on this side. And I'm going to do this with all of them. All right. I'm going to go kind of quick. It's hard for me not to make everything align. I so bad want to go in and start aligning everything. Tell you my OCD just starts to kick in. But it helps out with design and with creative direction as well, working with other designers. All right, so now the reason why I have 20 here, let me go back to my padding. First off, never use margin when you're doing your paddings. That is one that I could say definitely. Don't use margin when you are doing your padding on the inside because you're spacing the inside, you're giving padding, cushion around the content. This is not where margins should ever be used on containers or the outer container especially. All right, from here now, I'm going to give it the 20. I'm going to be on the top 100 and the bottom 100 right here. All right, now the reason why I put 20 on the sides is because when it goes to mobile, I find that is it's a sweet spacing on the sides, giving enough spacing so that way the design can breathe. I mean, have you ever gone on your phone and everything is pushed up to the edge? It makes it hard to read and it doesn't look good. Or if you're scrolling down a page and some are like all the way to the edge, but then some content is like super narrow with these big like gaps on the side, we want to prevent that. And setting this up right here, sticking with it, is going to keep a perfect alignment going down the side. All right, let me go ahead and give some background to this. I'm just going to make it black. I haven't set up any globals or anything. Let me go ahead and add in some text right here. All right. Hello, world. Okay. And let me add in a paragraph right here. Okay. And all right, I'm going to leave it like that. Now, if okay, let me take a sip of my tea right here. The next part of the system, which you got to define, because we eliminated that. First, why is there the spacing right here? Oh yeah, I don't even use text editor. Let me delete that. I don't use the text editor. All right. I only use, let me get some lorem ipsum in here. Dude, When we get that new AI in the Elementor that they just talked about, I won't have to do this anymore. All right, I'll be able to go in and probably just put in, give me 3 lines of lorem ipsum. Bam, it'll get done. That's going to be so dope. Let me give the whole paragraph right here. All right. Now, the reason why I don't use a text editor is because this right here does what I needed to do. I just got to turn it to P right over here. The HTML has one less div in it, so it's a little bit cleaner. Also, if I'm copying and pasting something from something else, none of that style carries over. And then I find too with the text editor, sometimes when you click over to the other tab on it, like here, I'll show you what I mean. Sometimes when I click over and I go to the text, after editing it, it'll start throwing spam tags and things like that inside there. And then look at, by default, it has this spacing right here. We want to avoid this right here, this spacing. All right, that needs to be avoided. But with the heading widget, you see how it's all tucked in nice right there. All right, so let me go back to this real quick. All right, I'm not even going to worry about the typography. What we need to look at is the spacing and set up rules. Now, another rule you could put inside your, let me just create another artboard right here. Another rule you could put inside your design system, you could put in widgets to use. All right. I could create something like this. Oops. I spelled this wrong. There we go. All right. I could put in widgets to use, and I could put in right here, start creating my rules. This could go into the SOP. You could pass it off to anybody else you're working with, so everybody's on the same page. Only use heading widget for all content. All right. This falls right into the design system right here. Now, the next thing is the spacing. We want to keep the spacing consistent between the heading, the paragraph, or a paragraph and paragraph, and then also a button right here. So let me add a button so that way we could use a visual while we're doing this. All right. I like Elementor sets it by default at 20 pixels. I think 20 pixels is a good place. Now, for me, my design system, by the way, for my design system, I use 12s and I use 4s. Everything that I do has to be divisible by 4. I've seen other people do it by 5s. It's totally fine. But if you do use a system like what I use, where everything is by 4s and can be divided by 4s, it makes it much easier to do the math in certain situations. All right, so I'm going to make this bottom 20. The next thing I'm going to do is define my system right here. I'm only going to use padding. This goes back to Ben's question. I don't use margins except for very rare situations where I need to push or pull something. I use paddings for spacing. Margins only if I need to push and pull. So I am going to do 20 pixels on the bottom. All right. And that is the system right here. So right here, I'm going to put titles. All right. My system for titles are going to be 20 pixels, padding, bottom. And every single header that I make is going to have padding bottom. I am going to not use padding tops, except when I absolutely have to. Like if I'm in a situation where I absolutely need it, this is just my system. Now, find what works best for you. The reason why I do this right here, the reason why is it prevents everything just being some padding top, some padding bottom, some margins, some not margins. It prevents everything from being just all over the place. You keep that consistency going all the way through. Plus, you start to get faster and faster and faster at it. And then if you have somebody else working on the website, if you want to outsource, bring in a new team member to work on it, you give them this and tell them we're only using 20 pixels padding bottom on all the titles, and that's what needs to get done. And if you see that they're off doing their own thing, they're using, say instead they want to, you know, you set your rule at 20 pixels padding bottom, but they're using margin 20 pixels top. Same result right here. You know, you have the same result in the front end, but it is breaking the system. There's no system behind it. And then as that gets built up, as this gets built up like it, this is where things start to get messy down the road and gets hard to manage. All right, so let me remove this again. Let me go back. Now, the next thing I will set up, and after that, I think you guys got it. All right, so I'm going to go here to the heading. Oops, that's the one. 20 pixels bottom. Now, right here with the button, you always want more space around the button. All right, we always want at least 40, 60 pixels. You want breathing room because it's a call to action. You want to make it accessible and easy for the user to use. So we want to put some breathing space. For this one, I'm going to put 40 pixels. Now, that's the next rule that I could give. Let me duplicate this right here. All right. I put paragraphs. I'm just going to put P with button under. And I am going to put 40 pixels padding bottom right here. Start to build this up. Start to set it up. Let me stop the screen share so I can see if there are any questions, what has been happening inside the chat. All right. What? No way. The screen share was, oh, snap. Dude, oh, how long did that happen for? I was on a roll right now. Oh, man. Hey, Maha, I'm glad you could join. Hey, somebody, please tell me how long my screen share was. I got my monitor right here. I was just in the zone, not even looking. Mistakes, rookie mistakes, yo. All right. Maha says it's all fine. I don't know. Somebody tell me how long, how long was that off for? How long was it black? Acronym. Next time I'll send my my camera's like, what? How long ago did that happen? All right. Yes, only see your face. Okay. Oh, snap. That was at least 10 minutes. Oh, man. I am so sorry, everyone. Marco. Oh, for real. So it did start to screen share a bit. All right. Cool. Okay. We're not going to do a long screen share. I'm just going to show you really quick what I was doing. All right. And I'm going to take a look at my, the screen I should be looking at. All right. Should be working. Let's see real quick. All right. There's a bit of a lag, when I'm seeing what you guys are seeing and what I'm actually doing here. Let me see. I just want to make sure that the okay, it's there. So, all right. I don't know if you guys saw this right here. This was the 20 pixels top and bottom. The system for the containers right here, how we defined it. That was how. Is it because I switched? I'm wondering what caused that. Huh. All right. That is right here will be put inside the container 20, 120. All right. I think you guys got that. But then over here, the same thing when we were doing the text. Basically, we find out what the rules are and we set those rules. I'm sorry, guys. That was, that was just 10 minutes of listening to this crazy guy talk, I guess, huh? All right. I'm going to stop the screen share now. All right, so all right, cool. Thanks, Vivian. I hope some of that made sense right there. I know having the visuals helps out more. Maybe I'll go ahead and do a video on this, like a regular YouTube video. I know that we've done some of the stuff over here. Let me see here. Let me see. I know we did some of the stuff. All right. All right. I know that we did some of it here inside the Design with Elementor program and course. So this is what I already see some students in here, which is awesome. But this is basically what we are doing and looking at, except we just go way deeper into it and go in a step-by-step process. So that way it just makes it a whole lot easier to put these steps together, because we have our brand styles, we got our design systems, but we also got design processes. And well, there's quite a bit that goes into, making professional designs that you could charge a lot of money for, that we should. It's the difference between, $1,000 Elementor site that's 5 pages and one that's 10 grand. It's just all that goes into it. Plus also being able to streamline all of it with the system and process. And I got to give a shout out to this. So I've been super busy all week, like this it just 100% completed. Now we started this in the end of November, and that was when it first started. I think the first lesson started rolling out in January, but we finally rolled it all out. But for this week right here, I'm going to put this link in the chat. I'm doing something right here where I'm doing some giveaways right here. I got some things. I'm going to throw some freebies out. So these are, what was that? Okay, let me stop the screen sharing and let me put this in. Oh man, this is why I'm glad I do these lives late at night, because I would be like, I'm really an introvert, guys. You might not know this. I'm really an introvert. Talking, making eye contact, all that stuff is very difficult for me. And it took a lot of work. In fact, about 12 years ago, 11 years ago, I couldn't even hold conversations or even think about doing this. It took a lot of work and personal development in order to engage. I'm an extreme introvert. I am much better in my shell. I had to step out of my comfort zone right here. So I know during the daytime that might creep up. Late at night though, it's all good. Just having fun right here. Good shout out, Ben. All right. So anyone, are there any questions? Does anybody have any questions, or either on this, it could be anything. When we're doing these lives, which I want to do every week, I really do, because you guys see me putting out videos just talking, but I do want to keep an opportunity and keep a space open where we could connect, man. I love connecting with other web creators. Like, it doesn't matter what stage anybody is at. For me, like, you guys are my people. Like, we get it, have the same passions, go through the same challenges. So I want to make it this space right here where we can connect. So I'm just going to pause for a moment. Any questions come up within the next minute, that'd be awesome. If not, we'll go ahead and wrap it up, and we'll have something ready for next week. Again, we'll be back next week. All right. Thanks, Vivian. Thanks, Ben. Much appreciated. You guys have been crushing it. Jackie, what's up? Oh, it's been a while. How you doing? What would be awesome, guys, if I did one of these and brought Jackie on here? I think everybody would love that. I would love that. It would be a fun one for sure. All right. And this is not wine. I just gotta say it's not wine. It's some chaga tea. Trying to be healthy and stuff, Trying to put health first. That's my focus for the year. For the last many years, my focus has been all business, my web design business. But this year, I'm doing something different. And my main mantra this year is health before business. I have my goals, but my top one is health. Jackie, I'm seriously, I might hit you up and see if you want to come on one of these. It would be fun. All right, guys. I think it's been about an hour. It's been real. All right. I'll keep it open for a minute. All right. All right, guys. I think that's a wrap. Oh, wait, hold up. Ben's got a question. All right, let's see here. All right. Should you charge existing customers on maintenance plans with 5 to 6 CPTs if you want to change the design system, changing from sections to containers? Yes, definitely. Absolutely. Just because a client's on a maintenance plan doesn't mean we work for free. Maintenance means we just maintain the website, making sure it's optimized, it's fast, making sure it's healthy, it's clean, it's staying updated. Maintenance plan, I believe, should be just about fully automated. It should be automated so much where very minimal of our time is involved. And then when something happens, for example, all right, last week we had a security thing that came up with Elementor with WooCommerce. And one of our sites that we had, I thought it might have been affected. I got quite worried about it. Something was funny happening. And it was late at night on a Sunday night, and I was up for hours on it. I'm not going to charge the client. That right there is where, the way I look at it is, for that client, for the maintenance plan, I spent very minimal time on it. I mean, I spent, now our team member spends time, but I have it set up where usually we just take 1 hour a week. That's it, to go ahead and do the maintenance on it. But if something happens, like a security, risk, vulnerability, something like that, and it's time to jump in, that's where it really pays off. But if a client wants to, or if we need to do some work where there's a big change, like sections to containers, and we need to update the design system, update like what I have to do for my own website with all those gaps and paddings, definitely we should charge. We have that conversation with the client, say, hey, there's been a big change. Now we could keep it as it is. But if you do want to have better performance and have things even more optimal, this is what it's going to take. It's going to take this long, and it's going to cost this much. Would you like us to proceed? Let the client decide. All right. We got some questions. All right, cool. Yeah, dude, check it out. Mohammed, share me your link right now, because I am going to be doing some of these live. I want to do some reviews live. If you're open for doing a live, let me know. Check it out. I need to go to my website. Go to here, and you can send it to me. You can reach out to me here. Let me send over my contact page real quick, man. And you could connect with me there. I'm going to get something else going to make it easier to connect. You can always connect with me on Instagram, but I want to make it easier to connect. So I got something for that coming up soon. All right, so go to the lytboxacademy.com. Oops, did it share? I don't know. Okay. Yeah, go to the lytboxacademy.com/contact. The contact is down in the footer, and reach out to me there. All right. Marius has got a question. You know what, man? All right. A video overcoming introversion. Now, I've been, I kind of been getting bits and pieces to how my origin story of coming here, and I've been wanting to discuss this more, because I feel many of us creators, maybe most of us are introverts, but some of us to more extremes. And my extreme was very, very, it was crazy. It was really, really crazy. It's something that I do want to discuss more of, because when it comes to doing this, it's not just about learning how to design and build websites and building skills in that. That's part of it. Those are the hard skills. But it's a lot of these other skills we have to learn. How do we talk with clients? How are we communicating and interacting? And when you are an extreme introvert, it takes a lot of self-development and a lot of inner work. So there's a lot of different skills that need to be developed beyond just design and development. So absolutely, Marius, absolutely. I would love to talk about this more. And I'm glad to see I'm not alone, and definitely you aren't either. Neither is anybody else out there who also are introverts and find challenges like this. All right. I'm seeing it. Jackie. See, I'm telling you, if you got Jackie on here, it would be fun. Seeing tons of freaking out over Elementor Pro update issues. Thoughts? Look it was just bad timing. You know, it was bad timing. Personally, I don't update on big updates like 3.12. I usually will wait till like 3.12.2, 3.12.3, because there's always going to be some little bugs. It's rare though for me to encounter anything big that would mess my day up. But you know, I like to wait like a week or two, and those little tiny bugs get found. Elementor team fixes those little bugs really quickly, so I usually wait. But in this case, there was a security issue. Look, it happens. You know, even PayPal gets hacked. Facebook, everybody, it's look at nobody is ever going to build a perfectly secure system. The thing is, we got to do our part to be responsible if we are managing clients' websites and making sure the website is safe instead of getting upset. Me personally, I didn't get upset. I found like this is my responsibility. I've updated everything, even on some pretty complex sites that are getting really high volumes of customers and sales. It just had to do it. Didn't really face any issues. I mean, I found a couple bugs, but nothing that I'm tripping over. You know, nothing that I would say hold off and wait. No, update right now. Get those updates going. It needs to be done right now for these ones. All right. What do you guys think? You guys let me know. All right. Let me see. Dawn's got a question. Where or what website did it get ideas to design websites? I get my ideas from a few different things. So I'm looking at other websites, like actual websites. I'm always keeping my eye open. I have my tool, my raindrop.io, and every time I see a website I like, I save it. And I have different categories, and I use those for my design inspirations. I never go into a website and start designing it blindly. I always find the right inspiration to give me a guide. Now, I could go to awards, but it's really hard to find realistic websites I'm going to build for my type of client base. And, you know, I could still go there and find inspirations for some things. Maybe I'll find cool menus or footers or something. So I just kind of surf around. Same thing with Dribbble and Behance. I find I got to sift through a lot of older stuff though. But what I found works for me on Dribbble is I follow a few very big studios, some of the big design firms. They are building actual websites. They're not just creating mock-ups just to create them. They're creating them for people who are paying a lot of money for them. And I'm looking at the work they're doing and using that as inspiration. So look for some of the really big design firms out there that are doing real work for real big companies, and start to bookmark and save websites, because you build that up, break them down into categories, and makes it, you build a library of your own inspiration. All right. Make a landing page just for reviews. Jackie, a landing page just for reviews. All right, cool. Actually, I do got one, but it's only for students. So if you do pick up the course, definitely I want to hear feedback. By the way, is there anybody watching still? Okay, there's 13 people. Yeah, I was going to put a plug in for the course, but really I'm doing this just to connect with all you guys right now. All right, will I migrate to ACF's new custom post types? Dude, I'm excited about it, Marius. All right, the ACF's new custom post types is something I'm excited for. Now, I've been using Crocoblock Jet Engine. I'm still a user of Jet Engine and Crocoblock, but mostly Jet Engine. But it's because it's all there in one. I don't like a lot of plugins. All right. If there's a way I could minimize plugins, consolidate things, I am going to go for it. But yeah, man, I definitely want to have a go with it and, see how it does for sure. All right, guys, I'm out of breath. We're out of questions. We're out of time. It's time to wrap it up. Thank you all for watching. I really appreciate you all being here. I'll be back again same time next week. If you guys have any, questions, you want me to review your website, anything like that, contact me. You can go to lytboxacademy.com/contact and you can reach out to me anytime. All right. Thank you, everyone.